I'm gonna teach you the subject that is the insurance services management. And under this subject, the very first topic we are going to discuss is the concept of insurance. Now, first of all, we are going to discuss the basic meaning of insurance. So, insurance is basically an arrangement by which a further companies or a state that is undertakes to provide the guarantee of compensation for a particular loss or a specific loss or any kind of damage or illness or death in return for the payment of the specific premium. So basically the insurance is defined as a contract which is formed between the insurance company and an individual. After framing the contract, it is known as the term policy. An individual or an organization, after framing the particular contract, receives the financial protection against any kind of damage from the insurer or the insurance company. Basically, this contract is formed for the purpose of loss that is incurred by any kind of organization or any individual. And after the particular loss, the insurance company will pay the particular amount of loss to the individual to recover their loss. At a very basic level, it is some form of protection from any possible financial loss. If any organization or any kind of individual who is suffering from a journal loss, if he has a proper contract or a policy that is framed between the insurance company and the individual in a legal form, then after the particular financial loss, it is the possibility for an individual that he get a form of protection from any kind of loss or damage within their organization. The basic principle or the basic motive of insurance company is that an entity will choose to spend the small periodic amount of money against the possibility of huge unexpected loss. Basically, under this concept, a particular amount in the form of premium is paid to the insurance company after the particular period of time. We can say after a particular month or after a particular 2 months. That particular amount is paid in the form of money to the insurance company. And if in any case an individual or an organization is faced any kind of loss within the organization, then at that particular period of time, that particular insurance company will pay the particular amount of unexpected loss that is occurred within the organization. Basically, we can call it as a pool that risk together, where there is a lot of risk, and to recover from that risk, a policy is framed between the two parties. And after that particular loss, a particular amount is payable to the individual to cover up from the particular loss. Any kind of loss that a particular person is suffered will paid a particular amount. That particular amount is known as the premium, which is paid after a particular period of time. We can say after 1 month or after 2 months, that particular amount is payable, and at the time of loss, the insurance company will compensate the particular amount of loss that is incurred by the individual or any organization. So there are various principles of insurance. Various principles of insurance concept include that is the risk distribution among the group of people. Hence, the corporation becomes the basic principle of insurance. Whenever the insurance company wants to compensate a particular amount to the individual or any organization, they firstly recognize the particular loss, and that particular amount is paid to the particular person or individual to recover from the loss and to get back to their financial position again. So under the principle of insurance, we are going to study the 7 principles of insurance that is mentioned below. The very first one is utmost of good faith. Second one is proximate cause. Third one is insurable interest. Fourth one is indemnity. Next one is subrogation. Next one is contribution. And the last one is loss minimization. So the very first principle with your explanation we are going to discuss is the principle of utmost good faith. According to the term and according to the main heading, we will consider that what particular amount of information that is provided by the insurance company or provided by the individual must be crystal clear, and the clear information is provided from the consent of both the parties. So according to this concept, the fundamental principle, or we can say that the main focus is that both the parties is an insurance contract should act in good faith towards each other. Whenever the contract is formed or whenever the policy is framed between the two parties, that is the insurance company and an individual or any kind of entity or organization, whatever the terms and policies are included under the contract of insurance must be provided with the full-fledged information to the particular person who opt the particular insurance process. And it is the duty of the particular individual too that provide the particular information in the crystal clear form to the insurance company. That is, they must provide the clear and concise information that is related to the terms and conditions of the contract. What are the basic terms? What are the basic contracts that are included within the policy that should be communicated to the particular person who involved in the policy making? The insured should provide all the information that is related to the subject matters and a particular details regarding the contract. Whatever the policy is gained by the particular person. For example, a person or an individual is taking the policy regarding the organization, that is regarding the theft or fire insurance. Whatever the particular conditions are involved or whatever the information is related to the subject matter, that information should be provided with the good faith and clear form to the particular individual who is opting the insurance scheme. So the next one and the second principle that is included, that is principle of proximate cause. So this principle is also known as causa proxima. According to this concept, we will conclude that a particular or the nearest loss that is considered from the insurance, it is also known as causa proxima or the nearest cause. Whatever the nearest loss, whatever the nearest cause is happened towards the individual or within the organization, that nearest cost must be examined by the insurance company, and for that particular or nearest loss, the particular amount of compensation is paid by the insurance company. So we will discuss this concept in detail too. This principle also implies when the loss is the result of two or more causes. This principle is framed for the purpose of when there is a condition occurs within the organization that the loss is occurred due to theft as well as fire. Both conditions are happening within the organization, that the loss is occurred to the organization, that is due to theft and fire. In that case, the insurance company would find out that what is the nearest cause of huge loss. Is that is the cause of theft or is that is the cause of fire? Whatever the nearest cause is, the company will compensate towards the particular loss. The insurance company will definitely find the nearest cause that is happened to the particular property or the particular organization. If the proximate cause that is happened towards the property or towards the organization that is valid, at that valid point, the insurance company will definitely pay the compensation amount to the organization or the property holder. If the insurance company find the against point, that is the value of the compensation is not evaluated by the insurance company, or they doesn't find any valid point regarding the loss, they are not eligible for any kind of payment to the particular individual or towards the particular entity. So according to the next point, that is the principle of insurable interest. So according to this point, insurable interest is the basic of all insurance policy. Whatever the insurance policies are included, it is the basic form of insurance policies, and insurable interest can be an object. It can be act as an object which deals if the damages or destroyed are happen and would result in the financial hardship for the policy holder. So for the accomplishment or to exercise this particular insurable interest, the particular person who is the policy holder would buy the insurance on the item or an entity. Basically, this principle says that if an individual have an insurance regarding the particular property, must have an insurable interest in the subject matter. For example, a person have an insurance of his house. If the damages occurs or due to any theft or any kind of fire towards its neighbor house, then the compensation amount will be not according to the subject matter. Whatever the policy holder is making the policy regarding their own property, that particular matter, that particular compensation is paid regarding the subject matter, not towards the different subject matter. So insurable interest means that the particular subject matter for which a particular individual enters to an insurance contract and provides some financial gain and have some insured towards a financial loss, that may be damage, destruction or loss within their own property, not to the another property. If the person face any kind of loss within their own property, then they will definitely get compensated regarding their own property. So according to the next concept, that is the principle of indemnity. The principle says that the insurance is done only for the coverage of loss. Whatever the loss is occurred within the entity or an organization, or the loss is suffered by an individual, the particular amount of loss is paid by identifying the amount of loss. Hence, the insured should not make any profit from the insurance contract. The particular individual doesn't demand or doesn't command any kind of particular amount that may exceed the particular amount of loss. Whenever the loss is occurred within the entity, the insurance company must identify the what particular amount of loss is happened within the organization, and that particular amount on the basis of loss is paid to the particular entity. If we can say in the other words, the insured should be compensated. A particular amount of insured, a particular sum that is paid amount equal to the amount of loss. Whatever the amount of loss is paid by the insurance company, that is equal to the loss happened within the entity or the organization, and not the amount exceeding the loss. Insurance company will never pay the exceeding amount of loss to the insurance company. For example, an entity may face the loss that is rupees 50,000. After evaluating and after identifying the particular amount, that is the insurance company first of all identifying that what is the cause, they find the nearest cause, and the particular amount is paid to the entity. If the insurance company feels that the loss is just of rupees 40,000, then they will pay the particular amount of 40,000 instead of 50,000. So principle of indemnity means a particular amount of coverage of loss is paid to the particular individual or an organization by evaluating the particular amount of loss. The basic purpose of indemnity principle is to set back the insured at the same financial position as he was before the loss of occurred. The basic motive or basic objective of this principle is to set back the particular individual or an entity towards their same financial position as they were before by providing the particular sum again that they can recover from the loss and set their business again and run their day-to-day activities. The next one is the principle of subrogation. Principle of subrogation means that the one party stand in for another, that it may include the three parties. So we can understand this concept with the help of an example. So if there is a person, that is Mr. A, he is injured in the road accident, he met with a road accident. So there are three parties included. The very first one is Mr. A, second one is the insurance company, and the third one is the third party, which he met with an accident. So a company with which Mr. A took the accidental insurance, company Mr. A and the particular company has framed and particular contract and frame a policy, that is the accidental insurance. The particular amount of insurance is paid by the insurance company to the Mr. A after meeting an accident, after getting an injury, whatever the loss or whatever the injury and whatever the amount is faced by the Mr. A, that particular amount is paid by the insurance company, and as well as the company will also sue the third party, and the particular amount of loss that is recovered from that third party. So the meaning of subrogation may include, it includes the three parties, a particular individual, in an company, and the third party. The particular amount is paid from that third party to the first individual to recover from the loss. Next one is the principle of contribution. Contribution principle implies when the insurance takes more than one insurance policy for the same subject matter. Whenever an individual or an entity took a policy, same subject number of policy with the different number of insurance company. So it states that the same thing as in the principle of indemnity. This concept is related with the principle of indemnity and has some collaboration with that concept. That is, the insured cannot take the profit by claiming the loss of one subject matter from the different policies or the companies. If an individual or an entity face any kind of loss, but they make a policy with the 2 or 3 different insurance policies, whenever the person pays policy, the particular amount that is in the form of division amount 2 or 3 insurance policy will sum up the particular amount, and that particular amount will pay to the single individual. For example, Mr. A took the policy from the 3 different insurance policy related to the same subject matter, that is the fire or theft insurance policy. After suffering from the loss, a particular amount, suppose the loss is occurred, that may be the 30,000, then that 3 insurance company will pay rupees 10,000 by the first company, rupees 10,000 by the second company, and rupees 10,000 by the third company. Then they will sum up the total amount, and that amount of particular will be paid to the particular person for recovering from the loss. The next point is the principle of loss of minimization. Principle says that as an owner, it is the obligatory on the part of insurer to take the necessary steps to minimize the loss of the insured policy. Whatever the insurance is framed, whatever the policies are made by the 2 number of parties, necessary steps and the necessary measures are taken by the company or the insurance policymaker, which eliminates and minimize the loss of to the insured property. The basic principles does not allow the owner to be irresponsible or negligent just because of the subject matter is secured. Whatever the policy is framed by an individual, they must be responsible towards their property. They are not neglected towards their particular property, that they have the particular amount of insurance, or they should not be careless from the whatever the activities they are conducted within the organization. If the insurance company found that the loss or the particular amount of loss is occurred due to the negligence of the owner or due to any kind of negligence of the owner, then the company or the insurer will definitely refuse to pay the particular amount to the entity or towards the individual. Okay, thank you, students.